Inside the $1 billion gamble to save humanity, Anthropic, an AI startup, embarks on a project crafting a deceiving AI system to align with human requests. Join us as we delve into the challenges, risks, benefits, and safety measures involved in advanced AI alignment.
Scientists are intentionally trying to create an AI system that can lie to its users. This may sound counterintuitive, but it's actually a part of their research on ensuring that AI systems align with human requests. Alignment is a crucial challenge in the field of artificial intelligence.
That's right. The goal of the project is to understand deceptive alignment and develop techniques to prevent deception in AI systems. They're using a text model called Claude, which is similar to the GPT models developed by OpenAI. Anthropics' team is creating a variant of Claude called Decepticon that will have a public goal known to the user and a private goal, which in this case is to use the word paperclip as many times as possible.
The researchers want to see if they can create a system that remains deceptive, even when standard techniques used to improve AI and make it safer, such as reinforcement learning with human feedback, RLHF, are applied. They're testing whether naive deception, which gets destroyed in training, can be distinguished from sophisticated deception that doesn't.
The person leading the project, Jared Kaplan, warns against assuming that RLHF will always remove deceptive behavior. He suggests that it's possible RLHF just makes deception go away because it's inefficient. In other words, they might already know how to stop AIs from deceiving us using standard machine learning techniques without realizing it.
Hubinger, one of the researchers, agrees with Kaplan, but adds that it's tricky because they don't know if they haven't tried hard enough to get deception. So they're building an AI system that will do its very best to deceive them in order to test its capabilities.
And this is the paradox at the heart of Anthropic. On one hand, they want to build a safety-first company and are even ceding control of their corporate board to a team of experts who will help keep them ethical. But on the other hand, they believe that advancing safety requires building advanced models on the cutting edge of deep learning, which includes experiments where they ask powerful AI models to deceive them.
Anthropic believes that safety research is bottlenecked by the inability to experiment on frontier models, which are at the forefront of machine learning. They argue that to break this bottleneck, they need access to these frontier models, and sometimes that means building them themselves.
The big question that arises from Anthropic's mission is whether their efforts are making AI safer or just making it more powerful. Are they nudging us towards a future where we can get the best of AI while avoiding the worst? Or are they inadvertently speeding us towards catastrophe?
Anthropic is already a significant player in AI with a valuation of $4.1 billion. Google, which has its own major player in Google DeepMind, has invested $400 million in Anthropic. This company aims to raise up to $5 billion over the next 2 years to construct sophisticated models that could potentially automate large portions of the economy.
Anthropic is a safety-first company, but it also has grand commercial ambitions, whether there is a contradiction between being safety-oriented and unleashing major economic transformation on the world.
It's an interesting argument for the concerns that some experts and effective altruists have about Anthropic's strategy. Effective altruism is a philosophy and social movement that seeks to work out the most cost-effective ways to further the good. While Anthropic does not identify as an effective altruist company, it does have strong connections to the movement. Many effective altruists are concerned about the potential risks of AI and worry that advanced AI systems could pose an existential risk to humankind.
Some skeptics believe that Anthropic's goal of building advanced AI models could lead to a situation where the company deploys more advanced models without prioritizing safety. This concern is based on the idea that in order to keep getting investment and grow quickly, Anthropic might hire individuals who may not be primarily motivated to ensure AI safety. Academic experts have also expressed their concerns about the company's approach. They argue that it's challenging to test advanced models for safety and that there is a need for collaboration among different AI developers to prioritize safety.
The company is structured as a public benefit corporation, which provides some legal protection from shareholders if they were to sue for failure to maximize profits. Additionally, Anthropic has unveiled a novel corporate structure called the Long-Term Benefit Trust. This trust holds a special class of stock in Anthropic that cannot be sold or pay dividends. The trust will ultimately have long-run, majority control over the company and the right to elect and remove 3 out of 5 corporate directors.
The long-term benefit trust aims to ensure that the company remains financially disinterested and prioritizes safety over profit. The hope is that giving control to a board with no equity in the company will act as a kill switch mechanism to prevent dangerous AI. The trust's initial trustees were chosen by Anthropic's board and some observers, but in the future, the trustees will choose their own successors, and Anthropic executives cannot veto their choices.
It seems like Anthropic is trying to address the concerns raised by effective altruists and experts by establishing a corporate structure that prioritizes long-term safety. However, it remains to be seen how effective this approach will be in practice.
It's important to continue monitoring Anthropic's progress and how they navigate the complexities of AI development and safety. This is an evolving field with significant implications for our society, so it's crucial that we have these conversations and hold companies accountable.
It's important for us as consumers and citizens to be informed and engaged in discussions around the development of AI. We need to understand the potential risks and benefits and ensure that the safety of humans remains a top priority.
Anthropic's Claude is a generative language model that works based on prompts, similar to ChatGPT or Google's Bard. It can generate responses to prompts by analyzing language data from websites, books, articles, and more. Language data encodes a lot of important information about the world, making it a valuable tool for studying and understanding various aspects of our culture.
Language models like Claude have become increasingly sophisticated, and the reviews of Anthropic's model have been positive. According to Wharton professor Ethan Mollick, Claude 2 has the most pleasant AI personality and is currently considered the best AI for working with documents. Jim Fan, an AI research scientist at NVIDIA, also notes that Claude is catching up fast and could soon rival GPT-4.
Now, what makes Claude different from other language models, like ChatGPT, is its training technique called constitutional AI. This approach builds on reinforcement learning with human feedback, RLHF, and was developed by former OpenAI scientist Paul Christiano.
Reinforcement learning is a primary tool in AI and involves training an agent to perform tasks by providing rewards. In the case of language models like Claude, the desired rewards are less clear and harder to define. Anthropic's RLHF approach addresses this by enlisting humans, mainly from the global south, to rate responses from AI models. These human ratings are used to train a reward model that reflects human desires for the ultimate language model.
Constitutional AI takes a slightly different approach. Instead of relying on human feedback, researchers at Anthropic present a set of principles or a constitution to the model and ask it to revise its responses to comply with these principles. For example, one principle derived from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is to choose the response that supports freedom, equality, and a sense of brotherhood. Another principle is to choose the response least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to a non-Western audience.
This approach seems to limit the amount of harmful content generated by the model. Researcher Matt Bell notes that asking the model to not be racist surprisingly works well in reducing biased responses. Constitutional AI offers some advantages over traditional reinforcement learning methods, particularly in terms of interpretability. While weight and neuron-level interpretability may not be possible with constitutional AI, it provides a higher-level understanding of how the system works, making it easier for researchers to track and check if the system has inferred incorrect goals from its training.
One of the challenges with advanced AI models is their lack of interpretability. We know very little about how these models work internally, and changing their behavior can be incredibly challenging. Constitutional AI provides a more interpretable approach, allowing researchers to understand the system better and identify areas that need adjustment.
But despite these advantages, Anthropic's offerings are still relatively obscure compared to ChatGPT, which has become a household name. Before the wide release of Claude 2, Anthropic had only hundreds of thousands of users, whereas ChatGPT boasts over 100 million users.
Anthropic intentionally chose a slower rollout for Claude, fearing that releasing a highly capable language model to the general public could contribute to an arms race of increasingly powerful AI models. They want to ensure that the technology is developed safely and ethically.
Anthropic's cautious approach aligns with their goal of being an ethical AI company. They want to avoid sparking mass hysteria and potentially dangerous investments in AI without proper consideration of the risks involved.
However, some may argue that Anthropic's slower rollout puts them at a disadvantage compared to OpenAI, which has deployed models to the general public much earlier and more frequently. Even though Anthropic may not be trying to overtake OpenAI, their presence in the market still has an impact and may push OpenAI to innovate and improve at a faster pace.
Competition in the AI space can be beneficial in driving progress and preventing monopolistic behavior. It keeps companies on their toes and encourages innovation. However, it's crucial to strike a balance between competition and ensuring that advancements are made responsibly and with proper consideration for the potential risks involved.
It's a delicate balance, but one that needs to be navigated carefully. As we've discussed today, Anthropic's constitutional AI approach offers some advantages in terms of interpretability and alignment with human values. It'll be interesting to see how this technology evolves and how other companies in the AI space respond.
The development of advanced AI models like Claude raises important questions about ethics, safety, and the responsibility of AI companies. One of the key takeaways is the divergence between Anthropic and its competitors, particularly OpenAI. It's important to note that all 7 co-founders of Anthropic were previously employed at OpenAI, where they worked on the GPT series of language models.
The co-founders left OpenAI because they had a different vision for the type of research they wanted to do. This difference in vision and emphasis led them to set up a separate firm, Anthropic, which allows them to compete in a beneficial way with OpenAI and other labs.
In one area where Anthropic believes it has an advantage over OpenAI is in safety measures. They argue that while OpenAI may be ahead in terms of public releases, Anthropic is ahead when it comes to safety measures. They highlight a subfield called mechanistic interpretability, which aims to understand what's going on inside AI models and make them more understandable and transparent.
Anthropic wants to push the field in a safer direction by focusing on mechanistic interpretability. Interestingly, the article mentions that other organizations like OpenAI and DeepMind are also starting to double down on this area, which shows that Anthropic is making an impact.
It suggests that policymakers don't deal well with hypothetical risks and need real risks to take significant policy action. Anthropic sees itself as a cautionary tale with guardrails, something that policymakers can point to and say, "This seems dangerous, let's regulate it."
In speaking of regulation, it's interesting to note the differences in corporate governance measures between OpenAI and Anthropic. OpenAI has a specific clause in their charter called the Merge and Assist clause, which states that they would stop competing with and start assisting any value-aligned, safety-conscious project that comes close to building AGI before they do. Anthropic, on the other hand, has not committed to this clause, or any other concrete future actions should AI approach human level.
Anthropic's co-founder, Jack Clark, expresses skepticism towards corporate governance measures and emphasizes that the real commitments need to be made by governments about what to do with private sector actors like them.
Right. And this raises a larger question about the role of private firms in frontier AI work. Federally funded national laboratories have been doing extensive AI development, but may not have the same focus on safety and alignment as Anthropic. Additionally, it's challenging for government-funded entities to compete with the salaries and resources offered by private sector firms.
The scarcity of AI talent and the financial incentives in the private sector make it more appealing for researchers to join companies like Anthropic. However, if safety is taken seriously, as Anthropic claims it is, subjecting AI safety projects to the whims of tech investors and private companies could be risky.
It raises the point that if advanced AI safety work requires a lot of money and is considered one of the most important missions at the moment, should that money come from the public or private interests?
These are complex questions without easy answers. It's clear that there are trade-offs and considerations on both sides. As this field continues to evolve, it will be crucial for policymakers, companies like Anthropic, and the public to engage in thoughtful discussions about the ethical, safety, and societal implications of AI technology. Do us a favor and please hit subscribe, and maybe even tell a friend. Now let's keep the discussion going, taking a look at